Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, November 2nd, 2020, and the rest of the week by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi, and our energy mantra for today is I value the healing power of being able to witness my shadow. And let's jump into this week ahead, but let's just look at this. November, so that's 11, 2, so there's a 2. 2020, 2-2. So we basically have a 1-1 or a 2-2-2-2. 2-2-2. Or 2-2-2-2. 2-2-2s. Trust and faith. Trust and hope. Holding that energy. And I'm actually looking at a chart that is for 7:22 a.m. So hey, there you go. More 2s. Trust and faith. Trust and hope. Having trust and faith in the universe, and in the unfolding of things, and even in our humanity. I roll my eyes a little bit at that, but truly we all have souls, and the more we can connect to that and more we can drop into our own soul, that will help. I just said this to a client, that will help be a light, a lighthouse to others. And so we need to remember that in and through this week. Now, astro-wise, this week's a little it's got some intense points. The biggest thing this week is we have Mercury going direct. We will have Mercury going direct on Tuesday, November 3rd. So, on election day. Mercury going retrograde or direct on an election day can definitely bring havoc. I don't expect it to be in my head I'm saying a peaceful process. I don't want to say that because I don't want to instigate that there will be violence or anything like that, but I don't expect it to be a peaceful process as in like this person's elected and that's that. Chances are there will be some havoc with it. And yet, with Mercury now going direct in Libra, we are called to remember our own personal balance. We're called to remember to hold harmony within ourselves. We're called to justice within ourselves. What's fair in yourself? And just showing up in that balanced energy, balanced yin and yang energy. Keep that in mind through this. Your balance, your center. When I talk to somebody who's balanced and centered and I'm like flying around, oh my God, it reminds me of that feeling. It's like, oh, I can drop right into that. So don't discount your power in and through that. So Mercury going direct this Tuesday. Then throughout the rest of the week, it's kind of minor things, but the energies that are connecting are kind of interesting. So we have Venus in conjunct Uranus. So in conjunct, not seeing eye to eye. We don't know how to work together, but it's so interesting because Uranus is in Taurus and Venus is in Libra. So they're both in signs that represent value. They're both ruled by Venus, at least co-ruled by Venus. So it's this value, but you may have a little push and pull, like one part of you valuing money, for instance, and another part of you valuing fairness, justice, coming up against each other, whether inside yourself or even seeing that in the world. You know, I think there's a lot of fear and obviously injustice and even more around the energy of money that we all need to look at. Where are you carrying that within yourself? What is your relationship with money? What is your relationship with values? So with this in conjunct on, what day is that? Is that Tuesday? In conjunct on Tuesday, we'll bring that up. Another in conjunct that we have going on this week is an in conjunct between the Sun and Mars. And Mars is finishing up its retrograde process this week, you know, so we're drawing to the end of these Mars lessons, pulling within, looking at our inner volcanoes, looking at our suppression, looking at latent anger that has been tucked away. But here's the interesting thing. Mars actually co-rules Aries and Scorpio. So we have that Mars energy in both, that energy to go after what we desire, that action energy, that reaction energy. So we really need to look at our own personal power, our reactions, any suppression and frustration that may be rising in us. And in between those inconjuncts, you know, there's a little bit of intensity as the moon moves into Cancer and does some of those Capricorn, Libra, Mars oppositions. So I wouldn't say this is the most peaceful week. It's not huge transits going on, and yet there is work for us. So, speaking of the work, let's tune into today's energy. Let me just say, if you are interested in a brief monthly overview, I did post that on my patron group, and you can go check that out. I always post the patron link below, and you supporting me is always a wonderful thing, so I thank you for that. Anyway, today, Monday, 2/2/2/2/2 day, we have the moon shifting into Gemini. Now, this is important and powerful because Gemini reminds us where we can tune into all of the noise around us. Gemini energy, I'm a Gemini rising. Gemini energy literally is like listening to all the channels on the TV at once. Gemini. And like bringing it in and sorting it through and tucking it away. We are all so very influenced by the influence out there. The news, what people are saying, social media, all of that energy can be very influencing. We need to be very aware of that and be aware of what we end up accepting as true from outside of us and what we end up allowing to influence us from all those voices. So with Moon and Gemini, realizing you can be very influenced by those energies, and the Moon reminds us it goes from your mind straight into your emotions. So if you find yourself feeling erratic or like from all of this stuff, that is a call to like, I would say, do a mind dump of some sort, whether it's journaling, getting it all out, or just even talking with somebody where you can get it all out. Be aware of how affected your mind and thinking is by things outside of you, including even me. And if it's bringing you to a bad place, that may be a sign to stop and pause and tend to yourself. So, awareness of that with the moon in Gemini. And the moon in Gemini is also connecting to Venus. So Venus, as it moves into this in conjunct with Uranus, rather than focusing on everything out there and all those fears, what do you value? What do you need to focus your mind on? Also, Venus is in Libra, Gemini's in, or moon is in Gemini. Gemini is not in the moon. The moon is in Gemini. And so that's also a call to reach out to those like-minded peeps who, like I said at the beginning, can help you drop back into yourself, drop back into your balance. And if it's not a person, you know, is it an activity? Is it an animal? Is it, you know, something that you can do for yourself to help you bring yourself back into balance? Speaking of all that, we also have Lilith hanging out with Uranus. And that feels powerful in this energy. I've been talking about this Lilith energy in Taurus. And Lilith with Uranus, it may be a little extra triggering. Especially if you are feeling dismissed, which so often Lilith energy has been dismissed. Dismissed, not valued, not heard, or things that you value not being valued and the like. So be aware of those triggers and any itchy trigger finger reactions coming up in you. If that's happening, that's something that you can address. And it doesn't mean that, you know, you can't stand up and support this energy, but be aware of those like big reactions. I feel like that Lilith energy can be so reactive because it has been suppressed for so long. Lilith in and of herself is not ragey or reactive, but because of this suppression within ourselves, it may be a little extra. So awareness of that, and how can you purvey and honor what you value in a way that brings it forward, in a way that, really struggling with words as Mercury retrograde, in a way that honors this thing that you value. So do keep that in mind. I'm not saying that you have to be like honey, but that phrase, like, you attract more flies with honey than vinegar, you know, it's like that. Like, honor it by allowing yourself to be centered when you stand up for it. And that being said, sometimes the other happens, and that happens too. All right, so let's be aware. Oh, this is what I was definitely catching on with the moon in Gemini, the burden. Not letting your mind get too sucked into that outside minutia. And I have it right here next to the Be Here Now card. Really being present in your now moment. There is actually healing available for us by standing in the now and not getting sucked into those other places. And I have the ripeness card. Again, I think I just pulled that the other day. You are ready for these processes. You are ready to like hold your own in this energy. So do keep that in mind. The other thing though I have is clinging to the past. And this feels like it goes back into like those triggers. Where are these past triggers, whether it's past life or anything, other things? Where is it influencing you? Where is it challenging you? Where is that? I also just want to mention, as I'm looking at the chart, I'm seeing this Pallas, Jupiter, Pluto, 20, 21, 22 degrees, all in Capricorn. So close, so bunching together. Lessons in expanding your personal empowerment. What does that feel like for you? And just holding that energy, that will also support this process. All right, so I'm going to leave that there for now. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better gets, the better gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. There is more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power. You have the power to tune into the more than enough love in the world for you. And do stay curious. Stay open. Don't glomp on. There's a lot of shift and change for us in this November. Namaste.